We purely focused on code and the product itself, but well, modern products aren't really simple. They are complicated. There is a whole architecture behind it. There is a network involved, etc. So probably we need to observe not only the product and the code base itself, but also everything that's around the environment, even the office itself, right? The network in the office or stuff like that.
Right, that's a spot on question actually. Even getting back to the product, programmers, while building the product, they focus on how to make it work. And they don't expect it to behave badly, because this is not how they are being taught. This is not how programmers are being raised. We teach those people to think well about the world, to be creative, to be inventive, to build stuff. And many companies have this made this mistake, serious mistake, by thinking that they have enough senior software engineers, so they don't need to hire penetration testers. That's truly devastating to hear, because there is a whole challenge about the mindset software engineers have versus the mindset hackers have and penetration testers have. Penetration testers, on the other hand, as opposed to software engineers, are raised to break stuff, to find holes. And you cannot really tell your software engineer who built a product or other software engineer on the same team in the same company, hey, go and seek the flaws, because their mind just isn't wired to do this. And we have penetration testers, competent penetration testers, who spend years creating this mindset, changing the way they actually think. And you can see that among your colleagues who test stuff, not only security testers, but QA testers in general. Those people cannot hold themselves back when they see something doesn't work. If you go to the shop, you want to touch everything, you want to see how it works, you want to find glitches. You download a new software, you are not using it as a good citizen like the programmer would or end user would. As a tester, after so many years of experience, you're always seeking the flaws. So companies make this mistake that, hey, I have competent software engineers, and that's awesome, but it's not about their competence. It's about the focus of their competence. They are great builders, they're not breakers. So you need to hire those penetration testers, because except and besides of those regular security vulnerabilities, we have the whole range of security flaws in business logic. So you are building a product, you think it's great, it's going to benefit your customer, your user, but you don't realize that malicious user can use the same functionality to do something wrong. For example, you have a product that allows users to store data and invite other users to collaborate via email. And you say, okay, let's build those features, it's awesome. Users can invite others, they can upload data, it's great. They can view the data, we can display the data to them, they upload a movie, for example, let's say photo calendar from vacations, we display it to them, that's awesome. But have you thought what the malicious user can use your product for? Which is, if you have a function to send emails and invite other users, have you ever heard about spam? Right, so malicious user spammer will use the reputation of your domain to send massive amount of emails to people all over the world to convince them to buy something, or sending malicious emails with phishing links and all that stuff. So software engineer and software architect thought that this is going to be great. We are giving a lot of value to customer. This is core business feature. But have you protected it against users who have malice intent? If you allow users to store data, that's awesome, great feature. We are using it all the time, especially in the cloud environment. But have you thought what's going to happen if someone's going to upload illegal content? Someone is stealing, torrenting data and uploading to your data storage. Someone is uploading porn to your website. Do you really want to associate yourself with those things? You must protect yourself against that stuff. And as a software engineer, you don't think about those things. You don't have this malicious mindset. And it's how we are wired as human beings. It's not only about reading a book with specific points what type of security vulnerabilities may be in the product. It's about thinking about every single thing on the planet we use on a daily basis, how this given thing can be used to do a damage instead of good to the world. And regarding the other things you ask about, the product itself is only the small thing, because hackers aren't going for the product. They're going for the revenue generated by the company. Whether it's by a service, by a product, that's a whole different story. They're coming after your company, not the product itself.
So the product is just a door opener for
Right,
you, right?
exactly. They use it to jump into your company, access the data in your databases, to steal data of your customers so they can send it to the competition. There's a lot of stuff they can do, but they are coming after things they can monetize. And it's not only about what we used to see in the past 30, 40 years, which was let's extort the data and sell it on the dark market. Now we have so many ways to monetize access to the company systems, that we don't need to bother with stealing the data, the databases. We don't need to breach the security of database servers. If we have access to even a single server, we can deploy what's called a ransomware. It's a crypto virus, which is encrypting all the data on your hard drive and then blackmailing the owner of the system to pay so-called ransom to receive the decryption key. And once you gain the access to a single system, you can do this. You can make company pay you to regain the data. And so many companies have very weak data recovery procedures and policies. They're not expecting this. They're not preparing for this. So there's other things attacker can use access for to monetize his activities, because it's, like I said before, it's a business, not a hobby anymore. Although those things are related very often. They can install on a compromised server software to mine cryptocurrencies. Although you may think, okay, but it's not doing any real damage to the product, the company. But really, is it? If someone deploys a software that's hogging your CPU and slowing down your servers, he's giving a bad experience to your customers, who may leave you just because your product wasn't fast enough. So it's just a way. Penetration testing of a product is just a way to get in your company. And you must think as a business owner, what are the other ways someone can get to the company? So for example, we have the product. Okay, that's awesome because it's publicly available. That's easy to be targeted. We have people who read emails. They're available from the internet. And hackers using social engineering attacks will send emails, send SMS messages, even make phone calls to employees to convince them to give away some data, some access, credentials, open doors for further privilege escalation. We have this human element, and which is why we run social engineering attacks for our customers. So we test their employees, how safe they are against hackers who may want to use their empathy, compassion, just good human emotions to convince them to do something bad. So we also test not only the product, we test humans, how resilient they are against social engineering attacks. And that's a huge thing. Not many companies test this. I would say most companies haven't ever heard of this, which is a huge mistake, because why would you spend 100 hours to test this great application built by 100 software engineers, competent software engineers, well-paid software engineers, if you can make a phone call to someone who's sitting on the front desk and tell them, hey, so I'm your IT admin, I'm calling because I had this problem, I cannot access the internal application. Can you go to this website, download this file, run this for me, and let me know if it works on your computer? 5 minutes and it's over. We are doing this. We've seen this happening. That's how much time it takes to compromise the whole company. Because once you have this initial foothold in the company, very often it's all over. Because many companies only think about what's public, what's on the first layer, then they don't implement security for the internal, let's say, web applications, because they didn't think it's important. We have the infrastructure. Someone comes to your office and connects malicious Raspberry Pi, malicious device to your local area network, and it's going to be scanning all computers in network to find the vulnerable ones. Once it found them because someone, let's say, didn't patch his system when the new OS updates were released, and they're breaking into one computer. Once you have the access to one computer, everything is open. Someone may come to your office and not bother with technology at all. An attacker may just go after a laptop that's in front of the entrance. So someone just used the tailgating method, which is following legitimate employee in the office, and I'm looking like I'm busy, I'm talking through the phone, I'm following someone who just entered the office, and no one's going to distract me because people are good creatures. They're not going to tell me, hey, who you are, right? I'm talking to the phone, I cannot, sorry. So you come after that person, you follow that person, you get into the office, and now you have access to everything, to all the computers. You just come to one computer that's unlocked, you plug in the malicious USB drive, and now you have remote access to this computer from anywhere in the planet. And your colleague who's on the other continent, across the sea, can use the USB you plugged in to access this device. You may just steal this device and run away. People are on lunches, they go on meetings, they are not really careful about the data. There are so many entry points, whether it's web applications, phishing attacks, social engineering attacks, whether those are actual threat simulations where we actually try to behave like an attacker and do all those things at all, whether those are attacks on the outdated servers, not the application itself, but the server upon which the application is built and where it's hosted. There's so many entry points to achieve only one thing and only one thing all the time, which is extort the data from the company, not the application. No one bothers, no one cares. That's why business owners, while requesting the penetration test, should ask us, hey, this is our business model. This is the company we are running. This is how we are running it. These are the products we have. What do you think would be a good idea to focus on? What would be the place we should focus on and test stuff? Because for some companies, not all companies are product companies. Not all companies are technology companies.
Yeah, some of them are starting services.
Right. So if they're using external resources all the time, we cannot test their application. It doesn't matter. It's not that important. Even if they had built some small application, it doesn't contain any data. It doesn't let you escalate your privileges within the company. So then we tell those people, hey, how's your physical security of your office? Do your employees use all the security features from the third-party products you use? So we teach them, hey, so you've got Gmail. Why your employees don't have the two-factor authentication set up? It's easy. You have this feature, you have this product. Why don't you teach your employees how to set proper permissions? Why won't you teach your employees to not invite random people to use this application, to not send randomly the invite emails? So we are always encouraging customers and prospects to open in front of us because we can help them. We can actually tell them what's worth testing and how their money can be spent well. Because we are not going after the money. We are going after the money only if we feel we've brought enough value to them. If we feel the customer benefited from our service, we feel great. We don't want to get pentests from everyone just to make crazy money. There's a lot of money in the industry. We don't need to behave that way. We want to be ethic. We have some virtues in life. We want to deliver great results for great pay, but only if those results matter. So that's back to the first point. That's how we want to differentiate in the security market. We actually want to deliver services that matter to the customer.
Right. Speaking about money, if I'm a business owner and knowing all that, knowing that there are so many entry points, things that I need to observe, not only about my product, but also about my people, about the environment I'm in, and also knowing that I need to hire professional security testers because of their mindset that is a little bit different than the developers. If I would be a business owner, obviously my question would be, is security an expensive thing to do for me? Do I need to pay a lot of money for it?
Security costs money. There is no doubt about this. I'm hearing lots of people saying, hey, you should be buying those and those services you should be going after this and that person. But every security initiative should be assessed how much value is going to bring to the business.
Right.
The huge problem with the value of, let's say, penetration tests is that it doesn't have direct ROI. When you hire contractor programmers to build a feature, you see their value immediately. This value is very explicit. They build a product, you sell it, you gain money.
Right.
With penetration tests, you are not really seeing those results immediately. You are seeing what could happen if someone else found those flaws.
Right.
Which is why we forged the term of indirect ROI of security investments, which is you shouldn't be looking at how much money security costs you. You should look at how much money it's going to cost you if you don't invest in security.
Right.
Because when you hire programmers and they build product, you make more money. If you don't hire programmers, you just make a little bit less money. You don't have this fancy feature, so you're not going to attract the other customer. But that's it. That's all. If you hire penetration testers, we provide results upon which you can improve your security. That's cool, but what about it? I'm not going to sell it to my customers because none of the customers really care whether you bought a pen test or not. Every customer expects nowadays from every product company to be running penetration tests and security testing, external security testing as a quality assurance process.
Yeah.
So you are not gaining that much. But what happens if you don't hire penetration testers and evil human being that has malicious purposes and behaves badly, ethically badly, attacks your application and find those flaws that could have been found by penetration testers only if you hired them?
So you feel more secure. A simple analogy that comes to my mind is buying a car without an airbag, right? If you don't have an airbag and there will be a crash, well, you will be obviously really harmed. If you have a lot of security things inside your car, then you feel safer, right? And you pay some extra money for them.
Right. On the roads, you have only that many cars. You can be very cautious. You may drive, I don't know, in your backyard. You may just go to the local shop and back.
Right.
You minimize the risk. When you have the application, you have the business, it's not only about you. It's about hundreds, thousands of people who are coming after your business.
Right.
You don't control it. Never. You don't control it at all. You can only minimize the risks because the ultimate risk of not hiring penetration testers and not investing in security is companies bankruptcy. If someone hacks into your organization, extorts all the data, sells it, and then creates a public message to the public sense, a message to the masses that I've breached this company, their security posture is pathetic, and your customers see this, you are gone, you are over. If you are a huge company, you can manage those risks. You have those robust relationships with your customers, that's going to be fine. You are going to recover. If Google is breached today, we will still see Google tomorrow, 1 year from now. That's fine. They can handle this. They have built this trust with other companies. If for most companies, and most companies on the planet are SMBs, small, medium businesses, small, medium enterprises and startups, you cannot afford this. Because the only leverage you have in the business as a startup is your credibility and the trust other companies given you. So if you fail their trust, if you abuse that trust relationship, you're gone. There's nothing you can do to convince people to stay with you because there's no incentive with them to stay with you, because if you are running a profitable business, there is a competition in the same space. So customers are going to switch to more secure solution. So,